Alright folks, right, got my bus shirt in check, got my cardigan in check, and I welcome you to another edition of Retrospective Reviews. I am your host, Rico Ricardo, but you can call me today the CEO of the Rich team, about to give you that dose of retrospective reviews like he brings it like no other on here. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's been tuning into the series of retrospective reviews. As I always say, if you got like a request of any review you would like me to do, please get in touch with yours truly, and I'll be sure to definitely look at and put out this review right now. So alright, so I've actually already done a review of Rush Hour 2, but I honestly just didn't like the quality that came out. I was using a very terrible, bad Hoyle webcam to record, and I just didn't really like the quality. And especially now we are moving on up, we are on the road to WrestleMania is already passed, but we are on the road to 10K. Yes, we are on the road to 10K. Success is just a sniff away. Ooh, that sounds so good. I gotta say again, success. It's just a sniff away. Yeah, so I thought it would be best to do a re-review of Rush Hour 2. And yes, of course, and as I said, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And check me out on social media, Instagram, RichManZ, Twitter, the same, and also TikTok, RichManZ90s. I do like cut shorts videos. We're gonna put more videos on TikTok over the time. Yes, so we're gonna be looking again at Rush Hour 2. Let me get some water. Okay, so right. So as I've said, in all the series I've looked at, especially looking at the Rush Hour series, this series has always been one of those feel-good types of series and films. Anytime I see Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker grace the screen, you always know it's like a feel-good movie. It's like a pleasant movie. You could be having the worst day, but watching them on screen together with that undeniable chemistry, you're always gonna have like a great time. It's always gonna be entertainment, full of laughs, full of action. Always the type of movie. It's just perfect for a Friday night. It's also, so as I said, I've already given my thoughts on Rush Hour 1. I do believe that I gave that 4 stars. I thought it was a very good revitalization of the buddy cop films that we had not seen for a while. Like Lethal Weapon was back in the day, 48 Hours, and Rush Hour really brought that buddy cop genre to the 90s. It was something new, it was fresh, an African American lead and an Asian, Chinese Asian in the lead role, so it never been seen before. It was great. Of course, I gave my thoughts on Rush Hour 3. I thought that was like a decent end to the trilogy, not like the greatest, of course, of the series, no way. But I thought it was like a kind of way that it wrapped everything up also. But yeah, so I'm gonna give my thoughts again on Rush Hour 2. As I said with my history, Rush Hour 2 was the first film I ever watched in the cinema outside of the UK. The year when I went there, and sadly because I don't like to talk about it, what happened in September, September of course, in Manhattan, USA, I was actually there in the summer that year. So the summer vacation in 2001, I spent the summer there in Washington DC visiting family. So I remember seeing like the White House, the Monument. Took a trip to NYC, Richie Rich's home, away from home. I was there that year, and yeah, and then this was the first time I went to an American theater. I honestly, if I ever get the name, I would love to put this on the community post. It'd be even cool, also cool, if I even had the ticket to show you all. But I would distinctly remember going to see Rush Hour 2. This was like when it just came out. Like again, promos were everywhere. You were looking at like the TV guide. I believe it was Empire, but like the movie magazines, film. You could see Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan on like those coaches, those big billboards. You could see them as advertising Rush Hour 2. So I remember that summer. I was in England, and then when we made the trip to come to USA in 01, It was such a fantastic time, man. Even I remember even like wrestling at this time was the Invasion storyline. Not to go too much because we all know Richie Rich is a diehard WWE fan, but I remember like even watching the Invasion storyline in England and coming to USA, watching it there. But yeah, watching the watching Rush Hour 2, I even remember we when we went there, because I was with my family in the States, we were on like the row to the right, and so you got the center row and you got the rows just to the right, and we were like maybe 2-3 rows just to the main screen. And I just remember I never had this feeling in the cinema again of just this like goosebumps, like when New Line Cinema appears and the movie begins, and then you see that boom 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 boom, the intro to Rush Hour 2. Everyone was so gassed, everyone was hyped for this movie. And I've said this even before, never ever before have I seen, especially in that theater, because I remember back in the day, and this is the power of Rush Hour, it has such a universal audience. In that theater, folks, there was people from Asia, Africa, Latin America, people from India, people from Italy, from Spain. It has always had this like anyone could watch Rush Hour films and just have a pure good time, pure enjoyment. Yeah, so I just remember that when I watched, that was like what happened when I watched Rush Hour 2. It was the first time in the theater outside of United Kingdom. This theater, the cinema was packed. I believe we were in cinema screen 1, and it was just great. Yeah, I remember the popcorn was on the side. My eyes were glued to the screen, so I was eating the popcorn. But just when the intro came in, you just hear this like roar of sensation on there, right? So starting off with Rush Hour 2, of course you got to talk about the predecessor, Rush Hour 1. This film, Rush Hour 2, came out 3 years after the first one. Looking back at Rush Hour 1, in some ways it didn't need a sequel. Like there's a lot of these movies, like I don't feel they go intentions with a sequel, because Rush Hour 1 pretty much wraps his story up altogether. I don't know if they knew it was gonna be big as they thought it was. I really feel this was like you can see from the production and even the advertisements that this had the makings of being something great. But possibly the people producing it, maybe even Brett Renner, who comes back to direct this, even thought it would be on this international success that needed, that was even high demand of getting a sequel. So I don't know intentionally if they knew that from the beginning, because yeah, I just feel Rush Hour 1 is a nice, great story, and it pretty much wraps everything up at the end. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, you could say, were at odds in the beginning. They actually become like brothers. The East meets the West, and of course, where the genius of the first film was, is they kind of left the door open for a sequel. When you see the last scene of Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, gefilte fish, they're about to take that trip to Hong Kong. In some ways, it was like you just left that door open. Like, okay, if they do intend to make a sequel, they can just carry on right from there. And successfully, this is what Rush Hour 2 does very well. And talk about like intros. One thing, and this is what I said, the Rush Hour 3 movie didn't have this, is just the starting off with a bang. The first scenes that you see in this is you see this mysterious woman with glasses, wearing a fake wig, and she's going into this building. She exits out, and this building just explodes. Big explosion. Way to start for movies. So you don't know this person, you know this character, but you do know she's gonna play a part in this film. And from there, the scene then switches to Jackie, Chris Tucker, Detective Lee, Detective Carter, driving and being themselves, like singing, "I wish we all to be California girl." Yeah, it's so nice how it was just one like action scene, and it just went back to the two characters that you fall in love in. And I can't say, it feels like, as funny as Detective Carter, Chris Tucker, was in the first one, he's even amped up more in this one. some of the scenes that are so hilarious is when in the scene when Lee's driving, Lee's like giving Carter a tour, and there's these two Asian chicks, hot ass Asian chicks, who basically stop by. They're at like a traffic light and stopping, and Chris Tucker's like looking at his book to try to do these hookup lines, these shut up lines to these Asian girls. And every time when you hear Jackie Chan correct him, it said like, you tried to say something to get their attention and you completely went left field. You went on the other side, and the girls just drove off. So you gotta really appreciate Detective Carter's like in his like effort for trying to get these girls like attention. So it's really cool because yeah, so that's like we're seeing it shifts like from Hong Kong, where again Lee pretty much can he can never take a day off being like a detective or trying to solve a case. This is like a theme that's really in the second one of like Carter is trying to say, when are you gonna take a break? When are you gonna take a break? When are you gonna relax? When are you gonna day off? You're the right. So he's really encouraging that you should have some fun. Have a little mushu. Mushu, you hungry? Yeah. So that's pretty much the theme. That's pretty much in Rush Hour 2. With that, it's like trying to not always be focused on the case as well, like have fun. And of course, it also really good with Rush Hour 2 is like blending in like the dynamics of the two, even more so. Like as I said, Detective Carter. Chris Tucker in this, he's more, it's one thing, and I saw a review even mentioned this, Oliver Harbour, who I follow his channel, he said that Detective Carter in the second one, he's more amped up, but in some ways he's played more as like, how can I say, the dummy in this one. Chris Tucker is seen more as like, he behaves even more like cartoonish, more silly than in the first one. And but it's great. It's pure entertainment. Like seeing Chris Tucker in this, I think honestly, if you're gonna say like his best performances on screen in film, it's possibly gotta be this one. Maybe this and Friday even rivals this. And I would even possibly put Rush Hour 2 for Chris Tucker even above this, because I feel like he has more of a significant performance. He's more of a starring role. And of course, keep in mind, Rush Hour 2, as good as Friday is, Rush Hour 2 has more of that universal appeal. So it really is cool seeing like the energy that Chris Tucker brings in this, especially opposed to Rush Hour 3. Man, night and day when you see him in this. So it's great. So when they're driving, Lee, who again never can take time off a case, he actually takes Carter to this club, and little that Carter knows is Lee's actually there to, again, he's trying to solve the case. He's been told about the embassy, which I mentioned in the beginning. The embassy got bombed and 2 Americans were killed. And like Lee's there, he's going to the club to take Carter to show around, but he's under investigation with like you could say the triads, who are all connected to the main antagonist of this film, Ricky Tan. So when they go to this club, and I remember in the cinema at this time when that guy was singing this bad rendition of Michael Jackson's "So Stop Till You Get Enough." Thank the Lord, Chris Tucker came in and he stopped, because he was butchering a classic. Oh, Lord have mercy. Chris Tucker had to put that S on his shirt and save the day. And I really love seeing Chris Tucker imitate Michael Jackson. At this time, Chris Tucker, again, height of his fame, he appeared with Michael Jackson in the You Rock My World video. That was like, you could say, of Michael Jackson's, especially the best singles on the Invincible album that came out in the 2000s, this was definitely the highlight. So it was really nice seeing Chris Tucker, who again was super, probably at the highest popularity, Rush Hour 2, seeing him have that friendship with Michael Jackson, and then him performing like his moves in the Rush Hour films is pretty incredible. So like Chris Tucker's on the stage, he's getting his groove on, like he's dancing, all these fine ass Asian girls are coming onto the stage, and then like Lee has to basically he basically has to tell Carter that we are not here to party, we are here to do an investigation, tread softly. And Carter's like, what do you mean tread softly? Like, where'd you hear that from? I'm from LA, we invented gangs. So because of this, like Carter immediately switches his mood. He said, "I knew you were lying. I knew you was lying, man." And man, when he takes Lee's badge, and I think he says "don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die." He butchers his Chinese to try to explain to the people what they're here for. They're here to search for Ricky Tan. Again, just the comedy between the people. I feel, especially when you see this film, this is when Jackie and Chris Tucker are in the prime. They could have even, watching this now even more, you can even feel like how amped I am like reviewing this. With just them two at their prime, I really wish there was more other side, or you could say other, like let's say different movies, like kind of like when you saw like Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes in White Man Can't Jump, and you saw them in Money Train. Another movie that was another movie for them, just to clearly capture their chemistry. I really wish Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan appeared in another movie just outside of the Rush Hour series, because here you really see where their chemistry works. Just them together, like Jackie Chan's facial expressions when he's seeing Chris Tucker butcher the Chinese. When he had to translate it to them, and Chris Tucker was like, he's trying to talking to Chinese, he's trying to do his best to speak Chinese, and Jackie Chan had to say to the people there, "I apologize, my friend's very drunk." It's hilarious. So, as I said, really capturing with the action and the movement. This film brings it, like straight from that club. They meet the henchwoman. So this is that henchwoman who didn't give Chris Tucker any joy in this movie. That sexy, super like aerobic, super flexible like Asian chick. They meet her in the club, and she automatically runs. She like leaves, like you can say flees the scene. And then Lee and Carter are in fast pursuit. They go chase her, and then there's again cool scene. Again, this is within like maybe 15-20 minutes of the film. You got a nice scene where Lee and Carter like are on the top, and they're fighting these henchmen, and they end up fighting this chick, the Asian chick who had no chill on Carter. They're finding that, and she actually gets the best of them, where like they actually fall in, because they actually go all the way to the top. They go to the top of the building, and like they actually Carter loses his balance. He falls down. Lee and Carter, they're both suspending, holding by the bamboo, as Jackie said. Lee said, "Don't worry, Chinese bamboo, very strong." And they hold it, and Carter has that famous line, "I can't believe I flew all the way 5,000 miles for this shit." And they fall down. So it's a great way to start this movie. It just has so much tempo, and this is what I mentioned from the difference with Rush Hour 3. Just this like sort of like this electricity that you get from the moment this film starts to even just this part is great. So once that happens, basically, when they get, so I'm trying to remember. This is when they basically get caught by the triads. Yeah. So once they fall down, and they fall down for the rest of it, they get caught to the triads. I remember that this scene has to be here, or is definitely, no, this is before. Let's scratch that. This is not this. Yeah. So yeah, so after that, like you could say that horrible experience for especially Lee and Carter, but especially Carter, because he just wanted some mushu. Lee acquiesces and takes Detective Carter to a massage parlor. This is the famous massage parlor that you see in the music videos promoting Russia 2 at the time. And they go into this massage parlor, and you see, like, again, some of the most like gorgeous Asian women at this time in this massage parlor. Like just some funny like nuances. I even remember watching this when Chris Tucker walks in and he touches the woman at the counter's hand, and she slaps it. And then like Carter asks her, like he said, like, "Oh, you American?" The woman says to Carter, says, "Oh, you American, huh?" Carter's like, "Yeah, you bring American money." I know what this means now, especially with this whole passport brothers thing. Like maybe 20 years ago, we wasn't really aware of what they meant, but now, especially the way the world now is, you understand this scene even more. But it's really funny, like when you see like they kind of open this, like it's like opening the wardrobe, opening this cabinet of these fine girls from China, and James Carter's picking all these girls, and Lee's like, hurry up, I need to choose. And the lady's like, you have such a big appetite. So it's a hilarious scene. The scene moves from that scene, it then moves on to where again, this is the first appearance of Ricky Tan, who I've said this on my Rush Hour 3 review. I do believe he is the best antagonist of the Rush Hour 3 series. From the moment you meet him, he doesn't have to say much. He's not like a physically imposing guy. He doesn't look like so menacing, but you can just feel his presence when he walks there. The moment when James is losing his patience with Ricky Tan and breaks the laptop, everyone just stands up. He doesn't have to say anything. He just puts his hand down and says stand down. Just his presence and that attitude, it's like he just almost commands the room, and I really dig that with Ricky Tan in this film. And yep, I really dig that with Ricky Tan in this film. So when basically they, again, another cool fight scene, like Jackie, Chris Tucker, Lee, and Carter, similar to what you saw in the restaurant in the first film when they find each other and they're like, you go this way and I go this way. They're able to like at least fend off most of the henchmen working under Ricky Tan, but they end up they turn around and more of these henchmen come in. I always remember in the cinema, I thought this was just violation. They end up stripping Lee and Carter naked, like, and they left them in the middle of Hong Kong on the streets. Busy day in the daylight, let them butt ass naked, and they had to find like the tin can, the trash cans. They had to find the lids, and I believe it was newspapers to try hide their private parts on there. And again, hilarious scene from there. So yeah, so the scene from there, then it skips on to basically Lee and, you could say Lee and Carter after this event, because again, this is Carter's first in. This is his first first trip into Asia. So he's not satisfied at all. He came there to have good times, see some woman, some mushu, and he's really tired of the way Lee is just, for a small bit, like Carter goes his own way. He goes back to the massage parlor because he says he lost his wallet, and Lee's basically at, this is at the police station in Hong Kong. That woman, that chick, the one who's just, you could say like the hench woman for Ricky Tan, she actually comes into the station and puts a bomb in that room, which I believe was intended for Lee, but he was already out. He was talking to that chief. You know, he is the chief, but he was talking to the, you could say the supervisor of that man, the one who was like in charge of that police station. He actually steps out. When he comes in, it blows up. Lee actually believes Carter was there and he got caught in the explosion because Detective Carter left all his stuff in the massage parlor. So there's a bit where, again, you could see like really what Carter meant to Lee, and he's looked down and he says, all he wanted was some mushu. Yeah. So from there, again, at this time, like both of these lot like are, you could say, separate just for a little bit. Again, Carter has gone out. He's gone walking around the streets of China. He interacts with the woman who wanted to cut the chicken, and then like the one who's like cheap suits, and then lastly the taxi driver who he was threatening to slap, and he gives him the money. He says, "Now you speak my language." So they both, Lee and Carter both finally meet at this, you could say, the soiree that's on a cruise that is, I believe it was made, you could say it was like the event was held by Stephen Ring. Stephen Ring is the you could say, as Carter said, the big white businessman who is working using cahoots with Ricky Tan. The whole, like, you could say the whole pretty much plot of Rush Hour 2 is taking like that, the ancestry and that design and that style that business, they want to take that to Las Vegas, where it actually happens with the finale at the end. So in this scene, when they're on this cruise, this is where you're introduced to Rosalind Sanchez, who is basically an undercover spy. She works for the US, but undercover she's working to infiltrate the, you could say, the triads and like Ricky Tan's business. They don't have enough evidence yet, but she's there undercover. And as I said, it was really, what was so cool with the Rush Hour series is putting protagonists that were not of Caucasian, were not of white backgrounds. Here you have in Rush Hour 2 the lead of, you got African American, you got an Asian American, you got a Latin American. The babe of this film is a Latin American, and it is so unheard of. And imagine, this was 2001, 20 years ago, that none of the leads were of like what you really expect to see, like of these Julia Roberts motherfucking types. You understand? So I really give kudos to seeing this, like especially from ethnic backgrounds, that representation, seeing people who look like you on the screen. I'm sure there must have been a lot of Latin American women who were like so proud seeing like their sister on top of the screen, in the silver screen. And gosh, man, like it's Rosalind Sanchez at that time, ooh, one of the hottest Latin American, one of the hottest women like of all time to grace the cinema. And yeah, she's I only wish I'd seen her more. I only remember seeing Rosalind Sanchez in The Game Plan with Dwayne Johnson, a small part, but I don't remember too many films. I think there was a film with Nick Cannon, maybe. I'm wrong about that, but I didn't really see her in too many movie roles, because in here you could clearly she does have the attributes, definitely physically, to be a leading lady. So great scenes when you see her with Rosalind Sanchez's character Chris Tucker trying to sweet talk her, but it's not working. And then on the bottom, when Carter actually goes to do investigation, that's when he confronts Lee again, when Lee actually thought Carter was dead. And Carter was like, yeah, what's going on? You dead? No, you. I thought you're dead. You. Oh. And actually kind of reprised this in the dojo in Rush Hour 3 on there. And yeah, I thought it was a good, when Carter and Lee then go, the henchmen basically follow them. The henchmen basically take them to where Ricky Tan is, and Ricky Tan's speaking to, I believe it is How Mei. I can't remember the name, but that chick who kept on kicking Chris Tucker's ass, Chris Tucker's butt. She comes in and she shoots Ricky Tan. And I remember this time in the cinema, I was like, okay, like that means like Ricky Tan's not the antagonist, because he was built like that. But it was a way to just like sway audiences, like sway the people watching that he's not the definitive bad guy. So at this time, I remember again, I was like a teenager at this. I was like, okay, maybe there's another like big bad guy who hasn't been seen yet. So like she shoots him, Ricky Tan goes into the river, and like again, Lee and Carter go find their way to get out. Once there, she come out, and again, this is American, you can say American federal investigator. He's sick and tired of Carter. He's like, you're getting the first plane back to LA. He wants them both to drop the case. This is under R. We're gonna handle this case. Lee and Carter, especially from the experiences in the first one, they know the only way you gotta do is do it on your terms, your ground. So they basically take a flight back to LA, and they say, well, we're gonna go full in to investigate this case. Yeah. So yeah, so as I said, definitely if you like this review and other reviews that are on this channel, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, you know, all that jazz. Yeah. So when they get to LA, Lee and Carter are on, you could say they're on the pursuit on Rosalind Sanchez's character. Like at this time, they don't really know, like they got like a link, like what she could be, but they don't actually know. So they actually investigate. The apartment she's staying, the apartment building she's staying, they're like on the opposite apartment building, and they got like a telescope to really check and to see who this person is. And I want to, again, one of the most, this Rush Hour 2 it has so much iconic, entertaining scenes that I'm telling you, maybe if you just check on YouTube, you just see the views on it. That scene when Jackie Chan's checking out Roslyn Sanchez, and you see just this goddess like of a woman, the full-figured woman, might I add, that time, and Jackie's like watching it through the scope, and he's just like, when he said like slow down baby, he said slow down baby, and then he start like taking his shirt off. In the cinema, I remember people were stomping on the ground. Yeah, because like you could almost picture yourself in that position, like man, like you're seeing this gorgeous woman, and like you see it in front of the scope. Like most guys would have that reaction. So it was great that Jackie really spoke for a lot of us guys. And when Carter found out what Jackie was doing, he tried to basically get a peek, and it's like Victoria. I mean, it's Victoria's Secret, page 45. This girl class. And then the attention turns when they find out that one person, that same woman, the one Ricky Tan's henchwoman, she delivers like another package. Again, she delivered a package to the embassy, then to that police station in Hong Kong, and now she delivered a package to her. Same wig, same glasses. So Lee and Carter both look at each other and say, it's a bomb. So they run in quick pursuit to try like get the package of Rosamund Sanchez's characters. They go to the roof and they're thinking like what they're gonna do. We should figure it. James is like, throw it. Lee's like, there's people, throw it. Lee, Carter. And you just throw it, and it stays on top of the high-rising tower building. And it turns out that this was just counterfeit money. The ones who were involved in this kind of like a corrupt this business deal with this like triads, or the ones working under Ricky Tan, were all paid by counterfeit money, and she was just receiving her piece. So you find out that she breaks it down to Lee and Carter that she's working for the US. She's just there undercover, so she couldn't really tell them in order to basically not get exposed, because she's deep. She's like Eddie Murphy's in a Beverly Hills Cop. Is deep undercover. So she just didn't want to get a cover blown on there. So yeah, so again, the next, yeah, so you get scenes from, I really love this. So the skips on from, you get a cool cameo from Don Cheadle, who I remember at this time, Don Cheadle was just picking up as like, let's say you could even say A-list, because he was acting in movies around this time, and he was in Ocean 11s, I believe Ocean's 11, the first one that just came out, Ocean's 12, so he was with Out of Sight with George Clooney, and I know he had a few other like a lot of like guest stars. I remember he played, the first time I ever saw Don Cheadle was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back in 1990. Whoa, that's a long time ago. But Don Cheadle, especially in that 2000s time, he was really picking up his name as definitely, if he's not A-list, he's a B-list actor, but he was a very bankable name at this time. And that scene, again, as short as it is, it's really nice seeing Don Cheadle doing like these fights with Jackie Chan on there. And when they described Detective Carter as a 7-Eleven, I'm like, 7-Eleven? What does that mean? The mouth never shuts. Oh, hilarious. Yeah. So Don Cheadle, after they went to Don Cheadle, basically to tell them that like they paid you in counterfeit money. They give them directions to like their next location, where they come into this, I believe it's this bank, and back in LA, that's LA where they get to. They go to the bank, and immediately the person at the counter at the bank, he just starts running away. When Lee and Carter come to them, he starts running away, and they actually come out into a trap. When they chase after this young man, they come out to the trap. They see Hugh, that Asian girl who never gives Chris Tucker any chill. She whoops his ass again and again, and even in this scene. And you see that Rosamund Sanchez's character, she actually hits Lee. Lee knew what she was doing, but Carter didn't know. But she was undercover. So from here, and this is what I've always said with, I'm going to talk more about this as the end, the movement. Here we were in one scene, we were in Hong Kong in the beginning. This is like the first part, and the second part pretty much in LA as well. This is the bit where from LA This is the bit like we're pretty much now in LA. The movie then moves on to where basically Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, they're tied. They got captured by these henchmen. They tied them. They have to find a way to get out. They're on this moving truck that is just going through USA. They're able to escape once it stops. They're able to escape like through their wits. Through their wits, they're able to find a way out. They head through the sewers. They come up the manhole and they find themselves in Las Vegas. And it's what they eventually found out. This was the way they were going to transfer all that money, that counterfeit money, into USA by a casino. Yeah. So this is like the grand finale, and yeah, this is just the grand finale of Rush Hour 2. Watching this again, and this is where I feel this is where Rush Hour 2 really beats 1. You really feel the stakes is more higher. Even before they go into the casino, the way Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, they actually go and they say, we need to look fly. We need to get some new like super, like we need to look dressed like we look like $1 million. And cool scene of seeing, again, another good cameo, Jeremy Piven playing the homosexual, fuck it, I said it, he was a homo in this, playing this character, buttercream. Yeah, just that cameo, which was the same length as Don Cheadle. Memorable cameo. But when they get their new clothes, then they look like they're fly, they got all that swag. They come back into the casino, and again, I believe you have possibly one of the best, like, I wouldn't say one of the best final acts to the movie. The casino setting on this, it added so much excitement and so much like unpredictableness, because I feel like I've only been to a casino a couple of times. I've never played that much money because gambling can be wrong, folks. But seeing them in the casino, it just felt so much was going on. And then like you had the henchmen, you had these criminals here in the background. So much excitement, so much. It was almost like pandemonium. You even saw the Red Dragon, the dancers, like dancing in the parts of the casino. So it was just so much activity that was going there. It's probably one of the best final acts I've seen of any film in a while. So the whole idea is once they get into the casino, Lee's basically needs to get in the back. He needs to basically says he needs to get in. So Chris Tucker, Detective Carter, he makes like the biggest distraction when he's gambling. He tries to play the race card. Yes, he said he tries to play the race card. So he grabs all the attention of the security and all the workers in the casino. This gives Lee a chance to basically go within the casino and investigate even more. Try to stay hidden. There's one time he looks at the camera, One time he sees the camera and he has to try hide himself. So as Lee's getting deeper and deeper into the casino, guess what? That woman who just happens to be a nuisance to Lee, she comes in like when Lee's trying to escape. He does this incredible scene when he's running away from the security and he goes in. Basically, it's these gates where they go in to hand money in the casino. Lee actually slides in and she gets like sucker kicked by that chick. And she puts one of the most devastating ways to go out, folks. She puts like this like miniature like bomb in the mouth of Lee, and she has the detonator ready to blow, as she says, blow 32 teeth into his brain again. So you can really feel that tension of this, and you can feel the tension of this. And then she takes him basically upstairs, and you basically get like I love the way the camera does this. You get this panning camera of, you see Rosalind Sanchez's character and you see Humi, and then you see the back of Ricky Tan. It turns out that he did not die. He did not die when Humi shot him. He survived. He had some like padding on him, so it was all like an elaborate scheme just to kind of sway the police and sway these like investigators off, so Ricky can basically complete his deal and get this like money transferred from basically complete his business deal. Get that money transferred from the east basically to the west, Asia to America. So you get, again, basically because of this. Well, let's get this water. Man, as I said, As I said, folks, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Whoa, okay, almost there, folks, almost there. So we get to the, so we pretty much get to the end, due to basically Rosalind Sanchez basically comes in the aid. She basically puts the guns, Secret Service, that's what she is, that's what she was, you could say. She basically kind of helps them kind of foil Ricky Tan's gang, and basically, yeah, Ricky Tan's gang. They successfully, James, after like causing so much craziness of like he's dancing on the table and then he's trying to fight off the security guards. Once the people in the casino hear shots firing, all the people evacuate, the alarms ring, and it's really just Lee and Carter and Ricky Tan. Rosalind Sanchez has been taken out because she was shot by that chick who basically is gonna fight Carter. Carter, like with all his bravery, he basically says like, I'm gonna take this woman. Lee, go after Ricky. I got this. So I don't know if he was just crazy or he was just feeling himself, but he successfully is able to defeat Lee by accident. And again, we talk about scenes that really made this film. When like that payoff, when Carter is holding his own, like with her, I don't know how, but he's finding a way to hold his own, actually. And then he basically defeats her by like, I believe she basically pushes a sword into, you could say the chest of Carter, and one of the statues like weapon like hits, you know, and she's knocked out. That payoff when Carter like takes off his like blazer, goes into the pocket, and you see that dollar bill, and he's like, thank you, Benjamin. He kisses it. Hello. He says like he thinks the bill knows. It's such a great payoff on there. So right, so yeah, so Lee basically goes and chases Ricky Tan, who I said had that arrangement with Stephen Ring, who was the one who owned that cruise, the SS Minnow Johnson, as as James said it was his cruise, but it wasn't. They basically, again, they were in cahoots. Stephen Ring basically wanted to try and like cut out of their business arrangement, and Ricky Tan basically says like, he basically tells him this like ancient proverb, and he basically blades him. He basically like chokes him with a knife, killing Stephen Rings, and he was gonna go away with these big silver plates, what they were using to make this counterfeit money. As Ricky Tan's trying to make a way out, Lee basically catches up with him, and Lee basically, because there is this like references and a little like backstory with Ricky Tan, like Ricky Tan knew Lee's father. I believe they were both like cops, or they both were working in case, and somehow, some way, Lee's father had passed away, which it was nice. Again, they did references of like the background with Ricky Tan, but they didn't go too much into it, which was way better what they did with Rush Hour 3, which I'm going to talk more about. But Lee actually gets the best of Ricky Tan like rather quickly. He's just like contemplating, should I take him out, should I keep him alive, should I take him out, does he belong in jail? If I then put him in jail, will he just get out just due to his power? And by the time like Lee, Carter, who's back upstairs, he's like, you need to shoot his ass. Shoot his ass. Like they basically shoot his ass. Ricky's able for a small bit able to get away, but Lee is able to do the spinning back kick, and he takes out Ricky Tan. Ricky Tan falls down, crashes to his demise, and just out of nowhere, there's no time to rest. Hume basically comes in with another bomb. The bomb lady, let's call her this. She's in bomb mode. She's speaking in Chinese, like this is it. This is the game over. And you get again just the most crazy. You get the most again enjoyable scene of like Lee and Carter saying like, "Well, we gotta jump out. We gotta go." He's like crazy ass. So yeah, so all is well. So all is well. They're able to successfully put a bust in Ricky Tan's plans. He's gone. All is saved. You get the last scenes when they're in the airport, almost like the first one, which is great. It ties well with Rush Hour 1 so well. So you see them in the airport, Rosalind Sanchez, Chris Tucker, and Jackie Chan. Jackie gets a nice like kiss from the beautiful Rosalind Sanchez, and yeah, you get these last comforting scenes of like the day was saved. And they basically said that, and this is why I even just remembered in the end of Rush Hour 2, just like in the first one, it was the idea that they were gonna take a flight, they were gonna go together, because in the second one it's like they were gonna leave. Like Carter says, my flight is this way. Jackie says, my flight is this way, and Jackie basically says he wants to go to New York City. He wants to go to see, I believe it was the Knicks play the Bulls. So they were talking about getting Mushi. So when you're seeing this now, and when you see Rush Hour 3, I don't know if maybe like the script changed, or maybe they had another plans. But I believe New York City was meant to take like some type of stage in the third film, but plans changed. They just went with this French direction, which again, I gave my thoughts on Rush Hour 3. Definitely check that out. But yeah, that scene in the airport is very warm. I love seeing when Jackie and Chris Tucker are just there, just talking, because the chemistry is amazing between them. It's hard. I compared it to like Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. Again, two pretty much opposite people, but together they just gel so well. It's like the shoe fits. The shoe fits so perfectly. So you get the ending scene, and you just get some of the most greatest bloopers. Rush Hour was very great with the bloopers they put in, and yeah, some of the bloopers I love is the one where Chris Tucker's friends actually call Jackie Chan. They actually call him while they're filming Rush Hour 2. So that airport scene just near the end, in the climax, Chris Tucker's friends call him, and he actually puts the phone into Jackie, and Jackie's like, we're wasting our film. You're sorry. We got a movie. This is unprofessional. It's the same, yeah. Even then, bloopers with Don Chili, like he keeps confusing his name. We would love to see that, Jackie. We would love to see that, Jackie. I mean, we would love to see that, Jackie. We would love to see that, Jackie. His name is Lee. God damn it! Oh, we would love to see that, Lee. Excellent. And then the biggest payoff blooper from this was when it showed Ricky Tan's body getting crashing down into that car, and Chris Tucker's like, damn, he ain't gonna be Rush Hour 3. Yeah, so maybe Rush Hour 3 was already planned from here. I don't know, but yes. All right. So, but yes, that in a nutshell is Rush Hour 3. As always, let me give you my thoughts on the soundtrack. If you haven't already, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are on the road to 10K. Success is a sniff away. Oh yes, oh yes. All right. So, as I said, it was so common at this time for these music videos, especially for these big movie hits, these summer blockbusters, you can say, to have these bomb-ass music videos. The one again, this one was like always, when I think of MTV in its heyday, going like Justin Timberlake, Usher Raymond, TLC, No Scrubs. I remember seeing Luda, my main man Luda, performing the song Area Code. Yeah. So I remember seeing this, and they sliced scenes from Rush Hour 2 and put it, and you see, and the setting's nice. You see like Ludacris like on a runway with the airport, with a runway airport, and it's the plane, and it's just such an inventive music video, which I just remembered each time when I would watch this, I would just have good feelings of Rush Hour 2. You also had music from Method Man, it was the Party Bullshit, and you had music from Keith Murray, Redman, and you got Montel Jordan, who also, of course, This Is How We Do It. In the 90s, he's smashing, like he's iconic here on this album. So I love that it had the R&B music that was possibly as much as I love the R&B music in the 90s of that time. You could say the R&B soul music like Keith Sweat, Keith Washington, Montel Jordan, of course. I really do love the ones in the 2000s, the R&B the R&B sound that you see in the movies like this, Barbershop, which other ones? You got like Rollerball, Bounce. Those movies in those 2000s, it was really cool hearing the soundtrack because the music had changed. Even that from the late 90s, early 2000s, the music, the style, the culture, there was a shift in the 2000s eras, and it was really nice seeing the music videos identify this shift of change at this time. So the soundtrack is really good. I really recommend you to definitely listen to this. If you love Russia 2, you gotta listen to the soundtrack. Oh yes, and update your. Not yet. All right, so final thoughts on Rush Hour 2. Okay, so as I said, I've talked about Rush Hour 3 and I've talked about Rush Hour 1. By far, this is the best movie in the franchise. It may even be the best buddy cop movie. I'm possibly even putting it out there. Yeah, this possibly may be in the basically the best buddy cop film. Me and my main man GQ Jamal, we did a rundown. We did a breakdown of the Bad Boys series compared to Rush Hour series, and I still had to go with, and I think we both ultimately agreed on that Rush Hour in total is a better series than Bad Boys, and the highlight is Rush Hour 2, and here's why. I remember in school back in the day, one of my good friends he was from Islamic background, Nigerian. He watched Rush Hour. He knew more lines in Rush Hour than I did, and I'm the movie buff guy. I love film, I love movies, and I love to quote lines from famous movies, famous characters, all that jazz. But he knew all of it. Not even a movie guy, but he loved Rush Hour so much. This is a shout out to Sammy. And I remember in classes in school, we used to always quote lines from Rush Hour 2. Lee, Carter, Lee, I thought you said she was a bomb. I said, boom. It was just a movie that you could always just like, we were, in some ways we were recreating the scenes in our classes in school. That's the power that this movie had. And I've always said that the best thing with the Rush Hour films, and this is all of them, is it just has an appeal that anyone can watch it. Any age can watch this and just have this great satisfaction of just pure enjoyment. You don't really have to even know Jackie or Chris Tucker, and you can come in and have a good time. It appeals to everyone, and this is the best of the film, of the series. I gave this 4.5 stars, and sometimes I do feel I should be giving it more higher. But I don't know, the only negative I could give for this is maybe I just wanted more. It would have possibly been nice if this movie was longer, because it shifts from scenes to scenes very well. Like, it's not like it spends too long when they're in Hong Kong, or when they move to Los Angeles, or when they move to Las Vegas at the end. And then even in the final scenes at the airport, the pacing is done so well and it doesn't miss a beat. You understand? So it's the only reason maybe I didn't give Rush Hour 2 like 5 out of 5. Maybe because just me as maybe selfishly, I just wanted to see more. It really would have been nice, because looking at series before, like trilogies, the Friday series, you had All About the Benjamins, same actors, but them in like a different setting, a different place. I feel like the Rush Hour series definitely needed Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan to appear in another film, but not Rush Hour related. I would have loved to see that, and I feel like that time has passed because they're setting the sights to make Rush Hour 4, God knows. But at that time, when they were at that prime, like Chris Tucker, You Rock With My World, appearing in Michael Jackson videos. He was even appearing when Michael Jackson had that 25 anniversary bad tour, I believe, in New York, where Usher, Chris Tucker, and Michael Jackson were on the stage. Like that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan in the 2000s, appearing in Shanghai Noon, The Medallion and Tuxedo. If Jackie Chan, I sometimes wish if he didn't appear in those films, like I didn't mind Shanghai Noon so much with Owen Wilson, but they made a sequel of that. If they scrapped that and just made another film with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, that would have been great, because in this Rush Hour 2 you clearly see this was the prime. This was them at their best, and you definitely see watching this and then you watch Rush Hour 3. And Rush Hour 3, folks, is not a bad film, but you see a level of quality of where they were at this point to this. It's almost like a fall from grace. So that's my only real negative with this Rush Hour 2. As I said, a lot of the characters that appear in the first one don't appear in the second one, but they then appear in the third one. But in this film, they're not even missed. And the new characters that they bring in Rush Hour 2, of course, like Ricky Tan, the henchwoman, how I would try to put her name in, Finance Rosalind Sanchez, Stephen Ring, the cameos from Don Cheadle and Jeremy Piven. The characters that are introduced in this film, just for this film only, is so spectacular that you don't even remember. You don't even remember really the ones who appeared in the first one. So I give Rush Hour 2 4.5 out of 5. I sometimes believe I should be giving it more. It truly is a delight film I can watch. It's one of those films I can watch and I don't ever have to check my phone. I can watch this and I can be fully invested in this, and I don't have to be like, you know, it happens to us all, like we're watching a movie and we always gotta check our phone. I feel always locked in when I watch Rush Hour 2, and I would say hands down is the best of the buddy cop films on there. But that's my thoughts, that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you all think about Rush Hour 2. I give it 4.5 out of 5. It is the hands down the best of the Rush Hour series. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan were in the prime in there. Their chemistry was over 9,000. Yeah, so it was great. But let me know what you think about it. Put it in the comments section. And now is the time for the greatest line in YouTube history. If you haven't already done so, it is the first week of May. Get your paper right and update your wallet. And Richie Rich is out.